Football Manager 2025, FM25, has been officially cancelled by its developer, Sports Interactive, after multiple delays. The decision was made because the game did not meet the company's quality standards, particularly concerning the player experience and interface. Originally envisioned as a significant overhaul of the series, FM25 aimed to introduce a new game engine, enhanced graphics, a revamped user interface, and the inclusion of women's football. However, despite these ambitious goals, the project faced multiple delays and was ultimately cancelled due to concerns where we will mention. Despite significant efforts, the game was not ready for release, even after adjusting the timeline. Releasing it in its current state and fixing issues later was deemed inappropriate, and a release beyond March was considered too late in the football season. Consequently, the focus has shifted to developing Football Manager 2026, FM26, scheduled for release in November 2025. Refunds will be issued automatically to those who pre-ordered FM25. Reasons for FM25 cancellation: quality concerns and development delays. 1. Sports Interactive, SI, the developer behind Football Manager, FM, announced that FM25 was not meeting its quality expectations. 2. Despite working on the game and attempting to address issues, SI felt the overall player experience and interface were not polished enough for release. 3. They originally aimed for launch in early 2025, but after multiple internal delays, the game was still not at the required standard. Unreal Engine transition challenges. 1. FM25 was supposed to be the first Football Manager title developed using Unreal Engine 5, moving away from the old in-house engine used in previous FM versions. 2. Such an engine transition is a massive undertaking, requiring a complete overhaul of game mechanics, UI, and rendering. 3. This move was meant to significantly improve graphics, animations, and user experience, but it seems the transition caused technical difficulties and instability. Avoiding a fix-it-later approach. 1. The gaming industry often sees companies release unfinished or buggy games, then patch them after launch. 2. SI, however, took a stance against this, stating they did not want to release a flawed product and rely on updates to fix issues later. 3. They likely assessed the financial and reputational risks of launching a poorly received game and opted to cancel it entirely. Timing issues and football season impact. 1. Even if FM25 was pushed beyond March 2025, this would have meant a release too late in the football season, affecting its relevance. 2. Football Manager is a season-based game, where players expect to manage teams at the start of a new campaign. 3. A late release would shorten its lifespan before FM26, leading to lower sales and engagement. Strategic pivot to FM26. 1. With FM25 cancelled, SI announced a direct shift in focus to Football Manager 2026, FM26. 2. FM26 is expected to fully incorporate Unreal Engine 5, but with more development time to refine features. 3. By skipping FM25, they aim to ensure FM26 delivers a polished and complete experience in November 2025. The cancellation of Football Manager 2025, FM25, offers a fascinating case study in project management, particularly in the areas of scope, risk, quality, communication, and strategic decision-making. This analysis will break down the key aspects of the project and what lessons can be learned from its failure. Scope management. The danger of overexpansion. First area is scope definition and changes. FM25 was supposed to be a groundbreaking release, introducing 1. A new game engine, switching to Unity. 2. Enhanced graphics and UI/UX improvements. 3. Introduction of women's football for the first time. These additions significantly increased the project scope, transforming it from a simple iteration to a full-scale redevelopment. While ambitious projects can be successful, scope creep, uncontrolled expansion of project requirements, is a leading cause of project failure. Scope creep in FM25. 1. The transition to Unity engine required rebuilding core game mechanics. 1. This would have significantly increased development time, testing, and debugging. 2. The women's football integration was not just about new teams but involved extensive changes in player behavior models, AI, and licensing. 3. Graphical and UI enhancements required additional design, testing, and optimization. Lesson: a clear, well-defined scope must be maintained. Incremental upgrades, instead of a full overhaul, may be a better strategy for risk reduction. Second area is time management. Unrealistic deadlines and delays. Failure to estimate project completion accurately. FM25 was initially planned for release in fall 2024, later postponed to March 2025, and ultimately cancelled. Repeated delays suggest a breakdown in accurate project scheduling. Common scheduling issues in large projects. 1. Underestimation of complexity. Shifting to a new game engine often introduces unexpected issues. 2. Development bottlenecks. Dependencies between different teams, graphics, AI, licensing, UI, likely caused delays. 3. Lack of buffer time. Many software projects fail because they don't allocate enough time for bug fixing and optimization. Lesson: using structured estimation techniques like PERT, Program Evaluation and Review Technique, and Critical Path Method, CPM, could help set realistic timelines. Third area is risk management. Identifying and mitigating challenges. Key risks faced by FM25. FM25 suffered from multiple high-risk factors that were either underestimated or poorly mitigated. 1. Technological risk. Shifting engines meant rewriting core game mechanics, likely leading to performance issues. 2. Design risk. Women's football integration required reworking player dynamics, physics, and licensing. 3. Financial risk. With increasing development costs and missed deadlines, the project became financially unsustainable. Risk mitigation failures. 1. Lack of phased rollouts. A smaller scope FM24.5 could have been released first to test Unity's stability. 2. No parallel development for contingency. If FM25 had been delayed, FM24 should have received continued support as a fallback. Lesson: risk assessment matrices should be created at the project's start, categorizing high, medium, and low risks with mitigation strategies in place. Fourth area is quality management. The ultimate reason for cancellation: FM25 was ultimately cancelled due to quality concerns, meaning the game failed to meet the studio's internal quality benchmarks. Why did quality assurance fail? 1. Lack of early testing phases. Games with engine shifts often struggle with fundamental bugs in AI, physics, and UI. Testing should have started earlier in development, rather than waiting for later QA phases. 2. Feature overload causing instability. Instead of focusing on a stable core experience, multiple new elements were introduced at once. 3. Failure to meet user expectations. If FM25 was released in a buggy or unfinished state, it could have severely harmed the Football Manager brand. Lesson: quality control should follow a phased approach. 1. Alpha testing, internal. 2. Closed beta, small group of testers. 3. Open beta, public stress test. Fifth area is communication and stakeholder management. SI Games, the studio behind FM25, publicly communicated their decision to cancel FM25 and offered refunds to pre-order customers. Pros of their communication strategy: transparency. Acknowledging the challenges instead of releasing a subpar product preserved trust. Customer-focused approach. Offering refunds prevented community backlash. Expectation management. Openly discussing the challenges prevented unrealistic fan expectations. Cons of their communication strategy: damage to credibility. Repeated delays followed by cancellation may reduce consumer confidence in future releases. Poor risk communication. If risks were known earlier, stakeholders should have been informed before March 2025. Lesson: proactive stakeholder communication is key. Regular status updates, risk reports, and contingency planning help manage expectations. Sixth area is financial and business impact. The cancellation of FM25 has financial and brand consequences. Revenue losses. 1. Refunds of pre-orders equals direct revenue loss. 2. Marketing costs for FM25 equals sunk costs. 3. Delayed release means no new sales revenue in 2025. Long-term business risks. 1. Damage to the Football Manager brand. future additions must restore consumer trust. 2. Increased cost pressure. FM26 will need more investment to be a significant comeback. 3. Competitive risk. Other football management simulators could capture market share. Lesson. A contingency business plan should be in place for projects with high failure risks, including 1. Parallel development fallback, FM24 live updates until FM26. 2. Gradual scope reduction instead of cancellation. 3. Alternative monetization strategies, DLCs, early access. Key takeaways. What FM25's cancellation teaches us: the cancellation of Football Manager 2025, FM25, serves as a crucial case study in project management, highlighting several lessons that can be applied to any large-scale development project. One of the main reasons for FM25's failure was the excessive expansion of its scope. The introduction of a new game engine, enhanced graphics, and the integration of women's football all at once proved too ambitious. A more gradual, incremental update approach would have reduced complexity and risk. Projects should be structured in a way that allows for manageable and realistic scope expansion. The project suffered from repeated delays due to underestimating the time required for development. Deadlines were initially set for fall 2024, then March 2025, and ultimately, the project was cancelled. The failure to adhere to a realistic timeline emphasizes the importance of accurate scheduling, buffer time allocation, and structured project estimation techniques such as PERT, Program Evaluation and Review Technique, and CPM, Critical Path Method. FM25 faced multiple risks: technological, design-related, and financial. The switch to the Unity engine introduced unexpected technical difficulties, and integrating women's football required extensive AI and gameplay modifications. The financial burden of ongoing delays and refunds further pressured the project. A detailed risk assessment matrix at the outset could have helped identify, categorize, and mitigate these risks early in the development cycle. The primary reason for FM25's cancellation was quality concerns. Even after extensive development, the game was not meeting expected performance or stability benchmarks. Early-stage alpha and beta testing could have highlighted critical issues before the project reached a point where cancellation was the only viable solution. Quality control must be integrated into the entire development process, rather than treated as a final phase activity. Sports Interactive, SI Games, handled the cancellation with transparency, offering refunds and clearly explaining the project's challenges. However, earlier risk communication could have helped manage expectations better. Keeping stakeholders, whether investors, developers, or customers, informed throughout the process ensures trust and can prevent reputational damage in case of unexpected setbacks. The failure of FM25 led to direct financial losses due to refunded pre-orders and wasted development costs. It also put SI Games at risk of losing customer trust and potential market share to competitors. To prevent such outcomes, companies should always have contingency business plans, fallback strategies, and parallel revenue streams to mitigate financial risks in high-stakes projects. FM25's cancellation underscores the importance of balancing ambition with realistic execution. Project managers must focus on gradual innovation, structured timelines, proactive risk assessment, early testing, transparent communication, and financial contingency planning to ensure success. FM25's cancellation highlights key project management failures, including 1. Overexpanding scope without a gradual approach. 2. Underestimating the complexities of a new engine transition. 3. Failing to proactively mitigate risks before they became unmanageable. 4. Ineffective scheduling and deadline setting. 5. Prioritizing quality at the last minute instead of from the start. The key lesson is that software development projects should balance ambition with realistic execution. A phased, risk-aware, and quality-focused approach is necessary to ensure success. As final, the cancellation of FM25 is a bold and risky decision, but it shows SYS' commitment to quality over short-term profit. The real test will be FM26's success, as it now carries all expectations for the next generation Football Manager experience. Football Manager 2020